Hello and welcome to my greenhouse. It's March the 24th. I've left it a bit late because it's seed sowing and it's the first time I'm sowing seeds in the 2024 season. So, have I left it too late? Will I have a bountiful season? I'm not sure. But what I do know is, keep calm and carry on. I'll put you on pause while I begin. What I've got here is a mixture of vermiculite and Jack's Magic. It's about a 2-to-1 mix. I sieved the Jack's Magic through, I think it was a 5mm sieve. I tried the 3mm sieve for the vermiculite, but it was too fine, so I put that through the 5mm one, and that seemed to do fine. So they're both at about 5mm. My idea being that I remove a lot of the rubbish and rubble from the Jack's Magic, because it's well, I remember a few years ago when I got it, it was really nice and fine and I quite like the look of it. But lately, obviously things change, composting procedures change. I think that they should have composted it for another 6 months or got the temperature higher than they did, because it was a bit bitty. And what I've just done is I've put in a replica to show 15 holes. This was a prototype. It originally had 45, but there was too many in that one, so I just did 15. I've got 3 rows of 5. And what I'll do is I'll use that for some of the seeds I'm going to start sowing. Just tamp it down with the flat one. There's nothing on that one, just a little tamper, and then press it home. And the holes that I generate should be about, I think 5 to 10mm deep. Is that what that is? It looks about right. There we go. So what I'll do now is I'll tidy this up and get ready to start sowing some seeds. Right, tidied up and back again. So what am I going to do? Well, I've got my plant labels here all written out and scrolled out in my handwriting. I've got the other ones that I'm going to put in. I'm going to be putting in some of the brassicas along with the tomatoes and germinate them indoors. I know brassicas can probably germinate when they're out here, but we've been having temperatures down to about freezing overnight in some places. In this place, shall we say. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some Gardener's Delight on one side and some Brussels sprouts on the other side in this one. So that's a tomato, Gardener's Delight. So I'll start off with a Gardener's Delight, fresh packet bought, loads of seeds. I'm changing away from the F1 varieties, apart from Sun Gold that I'll be growing this year. I'm going to try and see if I can keep seed and sow them from kept seed once these seeds are gone over. So I'll get these for this year and next year, and then hopefully after that I'll get some fresh ones. Although it says sow by year ending 2026, so well, looks like since it's 2024 I've got this year, next year, and maybe it's a year after on those ones. That should definitely do it. It says 50 in a pack, and these are from Sutton Seeds, not advertising, just showing where I got them from. Okay, so there's those ones, and we'll go for the Brussels sprouts. So let's get this side right. Tomato, Gardener's Delight on that side. And we'll go for the Brussels sprouts now. This is Evesham Special. They get bigger than I anticipated. It says on the pack that the height they get to is, what does it say? Where is it, the height? 60 centimeters between them. No, it doesn't say. But I had a go at growing them last year or the year before, and they got bigger than I thought. So rather than try to put them in the areas where I've got my little garden covered over, I'm going to try maybe put these in pots. So I'll just grow them on, put them on and put them in big pots at the end. Maybe a 30-litre pot once the potatoes have gone over. Oh dear, don't want these to go anywhere. Yeah. Professional YouTuber here, I think, is what Nathan says on Out of the Woods when he makes a mistake. Well, I'm definitely not a professional YouTuber, that's for sure. So, here we go, pick these back up. Note to self, only put in the amount of seeds that you need on your hand. I'm kind of assuming I'm going to get 100% germination, but you never do. Unless you're very lucky. Where's that one going? Come here. Come on. Frittery wee seeds, as my Scottish friend would say. So, what I'll do is I'll carry on with the rest of them. But for now I'll put you on pause because I'm sure you've seen people sow seeds before. And this is the last of the 7 seed trays I'm going to be sowing. This is onion Ailsa Craig. I probably should have sowed this into sieved compost on its own without the vermiculite, so it's easier to get out, because the roots will be a bit more tender, I would imagine, than the other plants that I've sown. But we'll find out. We'll find out, see how it goes. A bit of an experiment using the vermiculite this year, but I thought it would aid the moisture retention and maybe heat retention if there's that as well. So I'm just going to put 15 in this tray, so they're easier to get out later. And there we go. So I've sown 7 trays so far of various things. I'll get them out. I'll just put this in the water bath to soak. And then I'll carry on with a bunch more seed sowing. These ones I'm going to put in the house on my Super 7 heated propagator. I've got some grow lights above it as well, which I'll show you once it's in place. And I'll bring these over so you can see what I've got so far. There we go. So I've got Brussels sprouts and the first one, which I think was, yep, Gardener's Delight. I've sown 9 of the non-tomatoes and 6 of the tomatoes. So I've got cabbage greyhound, and there I've got tomato Roma VF, I've got cauliflower all the year round, and here I've got tomato Super Mama Echinacea. Going to have a go at growing that this year for the old girl. Mother likes those. And here I've got tomato Yellow Perfection, got some sage, again, Mother wanted us to grow some of that, she likes that. I've got tomato Tiny Tim. I've got some celery Loretta. I forgot how small celery seeds were. I was holding my breath and I was throwing those out in case I blew them everywhere. And in this one I've got tomato Sun Gold, and the last one here is the that's the Ailsa Craig onion. I've got some Bedfordshire Champions to grow and a lot more besides, but for now I'll stop here and let these have a good soak before I put them on the heater propagator indoors. Right, I shall return, well, possibly tomorrow, who knows, we'll see how it goes. And there we have the little propagators in place on my Garland Super 7 electric propagator. There's no thermostat on this propagator. I think it's just set to go maybe 5 to 7 degrees above ambient. It's on the shelves in my bedroom, so it'll not get too hot, hopefully around about the 20s mark. The lights are on, they're just some LED full spectrum and some daylight light bulbs as well. that are in there. Got them from Amazon. They're okay. They're just clamped in place. I think they're a bit close, but I'm kind of pushed for space, so we'll see how it goes. I don't believe any of these seeds will benefit from light for germination like lettuce does, because the lettuce seeds are uncovered. But I might just leave the lights on for a few hours a day, just in case we do get any breakthrough, and I can keep an eye on them. I've got the little vents closed at the top here, so that we can ensure we've got humidity around, so I don't want them to dry out because of the temperature that they're under. But no, that's it. Well, plenty more projects we're getting on with. Got carrots to lift, got some kale and some cabbage to plant, and plenty more seeds to sow. So, on to the next bit. Well, here we are at my carrot bed that I put in last year. I think it was around July, not too sure. It's certainly been in a long time. What is this? It just says onion on that label. Couldn't see any other label from mine. So, well, small but perfectly formed. Will do. I've already emptied a fair bit of this bed. It was used to make a soup. I made carrot and lentil soup with onions from the garden. So that's a forked one. Tiny. But now I need to get this bed cleared, get some cabbage put in. The rotation, I think I try to follow as brassicas, legumes, alliums, roots. So these are roots. So it's back to brassicas next, which will be the kale. And that's a nicer one. Hope you can see this, so I've got this positioned correctly. So I've got, I think there's 8 kale, curly kale. Oh, that's not too bad. And 2 other ones, which we, well, that's a bit better. I think it's starting to go pale at the bottom there, which could be to the biennial nature of it. Come back. Yeah, these aren't too bad. We'll do for another soup this week. Oh, it seems nicer. Not too bad. Yeah, in the previous haul that I pulled up, I got just over 2 kilograms, which wasn't too bad, and I used half of that to make the soup. Still got loads of onions from last year. Put in, I don't know, 300 odd. Got quite a few out. Some of them have started to start trying to grow again. So they've been used as much as I can. It's too good. It's been good at. These ones were called Autumn King. Overall, not too bad for a sow and forget about. So I'll get this garden bed tidied over, leveled off, and ready for the kale. Put you on pause. Well, that's the bed cleared, and I've got it marked out. Externally, the beds are about 8 foot by 4 foot. Internally they're about 7 foot by 3.5 foot. The wood is 9 inches by 3 inches nominally. The whole system I've got there is based on the square foot gardening, where I've got 3 foot that way and 7 foot that way. So what I'll do is I'll start planting out the kale and the cabbage. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at this end, because that's the one that gets least amount of sunshine, and I want to kind of slow down the growth of the kale a little bit, so that the new stuff that I plant, which will be Cavolo Nero, I think it's called, or the Tuscan kale, the black kale, and I'll plant that further at this end, so it'll all kind of speed up. The 2 cabbage that I've got, well, I'll just chuck them in the middle and they'll get more light, and hopefully they'll be ready soon. They'll just be for green leaves, but we'll see how things go. I'm going to use some chicken manure, some 6X. I'll put about 50 grams of pellets in the hole that I dig, but I'll film that when I've got a few more done, just so you don't get too bored. Well, I've just got to a point where I was going to plant this one, but I hope you can see that it's off centre in the pot, so the hole's going to have to be dug off centre. So there's the centre mark there. Put that way, you can see where it's got to go. Maybe it's a bit further over. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly dig that out off centre. Planting device a while back, and I find it's very useful for these 1 litre rose pots. What I'll do is I'll nip off some of the bottom leaves on this one. Will it fit okay? Will it go nice and deep? Yeah, nice and deep, more or less central. I'll just nip these off. Side. Let's take a little more off on that side. Get some fertiliser. I'm using Woodworth's 6, is it Woodworth's? Vitax 6X. I'm not advertising, just showing what I'm using. I don't suppose I've got enough of a following for any advertisement, but if anybody from Vitax is watching, please feel free. I don't mind sponsorship from Vitax, nice stuff. Right, just mix this around at the bottom so it's not all concentrated in one spot. Then pot it out. You can see it's got some nice roots there. Just fill out the hole. Now, I'm told brassicas like to be firmed in nice and well, so that's what I've been doing. Firming them in. That one's a bit too close to soil level as well, that can be nipped off. There we go. Another one. Right, I'll pause here and carry on. So, there we are. That's the bed all finished. I've got 8 kale and 2 cabbage. It's just green curled kale. I think I'll nip this leaf off because it's leaning over and bending, and that'll just become damaged and attract pests. So there we go. That's that bed all done, all sorted. I'll keep an eye on them. If they're suffering too much, I've got cloches I can put over them of various sizes, but hopefully I don't need them. This bed does have the plastic cover with the holes in on top, although I'm going to have to reseat it because it's become slightly damaged with all the winds that we've had this season. The other bed that I'd put the cover on, that cover got ripped off. It's quite severe, the weather, but you know, it was rescued, so I can reuse it, which is good news. But for now, that's this part of the video. I'll put to bed, pardon the pun, and I'll just water them and then get on to planting some more seeds, sowing some more seeds. Right, here we are, going to sow some broad beans. These are Super Agua Dulce, little black side down, little bottom in. Got a root trainer here, bought it from Hacksnicks years ago. It's seen better days, but it's still chugging along. I'll put these in. These are old seed from DT Brown. Super Agua Dulce get quite large, so these won't be going into the veg beds because they're covered over. I'm going to just put these probably in pots somewhere around, large pots, the 10-litre pots. So actually I've got an old black box that was used for recycling many moons ago with the council. I think what I'll do is yeah, that was the bottom. I'll use that. I'll certainly get 3 or 4 in, probably get 4 in, and then I'll have to use other containers. But these root trainers are quite good. Give them a good start. So if they've got old seed, I'll wonder how many I get to germinate. So what I'll do is I'll just keep an eye on them. So I'm not going direct into the ground. Somebody was telling me Monty Don planted his beans this week on Gardener's World, but he went straight into the ground. He's got more confidence in his seed supplier than I have. Then again, it's not necessarily the seed supplier's fault, it's the age of the seed. I've had these a good few years. What I'll do is I'll put a bit more compost on top of these just to make sure they're covered over properly. Probably the rustling of the bag. This is Jack's Magic. I bought it last year. I suppose I'll be going peat free this year if I buy any more compost. Although I did buy a bag of peat some years ago. It's knocking around the garden somewhere. Normally I would have sieved this, but beans are quite tough and quite resilient, so I'm not going to bother doing that. Right, label, broad bean Agua Dulce. Give them a good soak in some water here. Okay, see what else I want to do next. Put you on pause while I decide. Here we are. This will be the last clip of the day. I'm going to sow some cucumber. This is Beth Alpha that I'm starting off now. I've got 2 different plant pots as well, so I know that they'll be different. Didn't do too well last year because unfortunately when I was pruning, when I put them in on the side, pruning the extra side shoots off, I pruned the wrong side shoot. Oh, I could have cried. I might tell myself, don't prune that side shoot, prune the other side shoot. And like a muppet, I pruned the wrong side shoot. Lost all the flowers. I eventually got about half a dozen cucumbers that year, but never mind. The year before was much better. And that was cucumber mini munch. So there we go, that's them done. Put these in water, let them soak. I'm not going to put these ones inside, I'm going to leave them outside, and then hopefully they'll all come together. But that's it. So I'll just put you on pause before I do the close out. So thank you for watching this video. If you've watched this far, I think that's Gary from Nerdrotic who says that, so I better be careful I don't want to steal his lines. But it's been quite a productive time. I've still got more to go. There's a lot more seeds to be sown. There's always more to do in the garden. But what I'll do now is I'll end this video here. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please consider giving a like. If you want to keep up with what I do in the future, you can subscribe if you like. And otherwise, thank you for watching. TTFN!